Good Friday morning. Yes, it is a feel-good Friday. It's a feel-different Friday today as well because we got a lot of people off. Boomer is in the Dominican Republic hitting golf balls. Jerry is in Indianapolis getting ready for Rutgers. CeeLo is in Disney World with his family. So we've got Sal Licata in for Boomer, and Peter Schwartz is back again, and we're going to have a great feel-good Friday. Good morning, Sal. How are you?
Well, this is fun, isn't it?
It is fun.
You had to dig deep here to get me in here with everybody
That's
off.
what everybody says. Instead of just taking the invite and being happy about it, everybody say, no, I'm down the depth chart. That's what Peter said yesterday, too. He's like, I'm glad to be the fourth choice. I'm like, you're here, aren't you?
I don't care about that. Being a choice is fine, but just hearing you go over, everybody's on vacation and this and that, and here I am. But, hey, you're right. I'm happy to be here.
No, I was excited for this. So just before we get into all this baseball nonsense, we talked about doing shows together. How many years ago now? 17 years ago?
Which is insane. Isn't that insane?
I know.
I was thinking about it before, and I think I actually brought it up with Al during the warm-up show. So what year did you start? 2004?
2005.
Okay.
September of 2005 as an intern.
Right. So, and then do you remember when you became full-time?
Full-time was April 2006.
So I would say, well, it's definitely in between that, but probably when you became full-time. I remember going to the back offices of Spitz and Chernoff back in Astoria, and you and I, before we did that, we were talking about, we can maybe do something for the website. And by the way, it wasn't for money. We just wanted to do something on the air. We wanted to be noticed or become better. And we would go back there and basically beg them to let us somehow do shows during games or whatever, stream them on the internet.
Well, that was the point. So back then, and I still think it's the same now, I don't know what the deal is actually with the streaming. No, you actually can stream Yankee games now on the Odyssey app. But back then, you weren't allowed to stream any baseball games. So they used to do the replays of the top shows, the Monday through Friday shows on the stream. And we were like, why do that when you could put us on there?
Right.
We'll do it for free. We'll talk about what's going on. It promotes the stream. And then you can develop talk show hosts.
Right.
We thought it was a great idea.
Oh, by the way, it was a great idea.
Yeah, and now I feel like they would definitely take you up on that offer with the digital push, and now they want everybody to do stuff
Right,
for free.
now I wouldn't do it for free. Right,
Yeah.
how about that?
Right. So we were talking about this. I remember you did a podcast with Monzo for a while, and I remember being a guest on that particular
That's right.
thing.
I was doing shows. You know where that was? At Jerry's school.
Wow.
At Jerry's broadcasting school in Jersey. I
Yeah.
would drive 3 hours to meet Monzo at Jerry's broadcasting school in Jersey. We do some kind of a internet show for a couple hours.
Yeah, so this is a very cool thing for us. I'm not going to spend that much time on it because I know the audience doesn't care. But for us to have gone from that begging to get on an internet stream that no one was going to listen to in 2007 and both be full-time here at WFAN and sit next to each other is a very cool thing for us. So I had been looking forward to this. There was an opportunity that arose to get you in here on a day where you get to talk about baseball being back. Now, normally I love the fact that we have a warm-up show. I think it's great. I listen as much as I can. Today, I was not happy that we had a warm-up show for two reasons. One, Al's trying to cut our salaries again.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
He's trying to do that right out of the gate. He's trying to cut my salary, take food out of my children's mouths. So there's that. And then also, we have very similar baseball takes. So I feel like, when the caller comes on, it's like, you steal my thunder. That's what I feel it happens with Al and I with baseball. So then I feel like I'm saying everything he's saying because we have similar baseball takes.
From my perspective, I got the news that I was going to be filling in yesterday or whatever it was, and I was excited. I'm thinking, okay, this is great. I get to do a show with you. I never worked with Al before for the warm-up show. And I don't have to sit here and talk about sports for 5 hours. Well, there's no sports going on.
Yeah.
And then, boom, the one night that I'd be good on the overnight to come out, talking about Major League Baseball, I've been grinding through these shows for months. Nothing is happening. Just nothing is happening. Yeah. This is the one where it's like, oh, my God, free agency, baseball's back. This is great. And now I'm doing a show that we don't really talk about sports necessarily.
We'll talk about sports.
I mean?
We will. I know exactly what you mean. But unless we get some signings like Freddie Freeman to the Yankees or whatever, unless we get some of that today, I mean, there's just the excitement of the lockout is over and now here we go, baseball is back. But the stuff with people flipping out yesterday, and I know a lot of it's for digital, and I'm sure that whole thing
saw
was
that video
staged with McMonigal and Evan, and it's smart because it got over 100,000 views. I don't know where. Yeah, it's got over 100,000 views, that thing.
Wow.
Yeah, at least the one I saw last night was 105,000 views. And that's great, and I'm glad that they got all those views, and I know that they're playing it up for the camera and everything else, but it just, I mean, we go from crushing these guys, being disgusted by these guys, saying all these terrible things, to then all of a sudden now we're jumping up and down and we're hugging one another over this. It seems ridiculous. And oh, by the way, what was the biggest problem with baseball going into this lockout, in your opinion? Because I have an answer. The biggest problem with baseball,
as far as like the pace of play or things like that. With
well,
baseball?
pace of play, sure.
For me, it's quality of play. I don't think there are good baseball players that play the game, and I hate the style of it. But that's just mine.
Okay, all right, that's yours. To me, a big general thought with baseball and a big problem was competitive balance, wasn't it?
Good one.
Is there anything in this new CBA that helps out the other teams or makes them spend more money? Basically, you talk about this competitive balance tax. If anything, if Steve Cohen's going to go crazy and go through the fourth tier, it's more money in the pockets for the owners that take that revenue sharing money and don't spend it. So, like, if you really wanted to make a push for competitive balance in baseball, make a salary floor for some of these scrubs like Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh and in Baltimore and Kansas City and these other places. And don't give me the Rays and all these other these examples. Yeah, that's an outlier of a team that's been able to sustain success. Most of these teams can't compete and won't compete and pocket that money. So what did we do? We pissed off a bunch of fans in this process. Did you make the game any better? From a pace of play standpoint or a competitive balance standpoint?
No, they didn't. Now, here's why that's not – you're right, and I do think it would be obviously it would be better for the sport. That's where it is a big problem where the owners, half the owners or more than half, don't spend in the team. The reason why I don't care about that, that's not our issue here. So that's somebody else's problem. Now, it's not good for the sport, You're right. But we finally have a situation where the Mets now are acting like big boys again. We have the Yankees who are always going to be the Yankees. So it sucks for them. That's not our issue.
I know. Trust me, and I understand. This is one of my big points, though, is that we have this idea about what baseball is in New York that is not representative of what it actually is in the rest of the country.
Which is why baseball has a problem, because it's not a national sport,
Exactly.
and half the teams in the sport just can't compete going in. If you're and I used to have this debate with some callers, somebody called from Baltimore, and I go, dude, I'm a big Orioles fan. I'm like, how? Like, what? How could you sit there going into a season knowing that your team was just shredded, whether they get rid of Machado or Buck or whatever it is, knowing that they have no chance to legitimately compete? Why are you going to invest your time in that team? And that's for a lot of teams in Major League Baseball every year going in with these fan bases.
And I know that we're going to talk about it and we'll be excited. And if the Mets make a signing or the Yankees make a signing this morning while we're on the air, there's going to be a lot of excited fans. We'll get back into it, and I hope that they go on long runs in the postseason, and we have something to talk about then. But this morning, I'm still sour about it. And I just don't like the fact that everybody can just change on a dime from
how about Manfred
being so grossly affected by it to now celebrating.
Did you see Manfred? Oh, I'd like to deeply apologize to
Shut the F up. What a slime ball creep. Terrible leader.
It couldn't be less
spineless jerk.
Authentic or heartfelt. It was such a
gutless.
Somebody wrote it out. Thank in big capital letters. Thank the fans. Oh yeah. Couldn't be, I got to thank the fans and apologize. Like, dude, come on. He's such a phony. You guys, you have that or what?
No. They don't notice. You're another one of these guys that's going to be affected by Eddie every time.
What'd I miss? What do you do now?
No. So Eddie
he's talking in your ear and you're acknowledging him.
Yeah, no. So he's talking in my ear because we did these softball games with Manfred. And we had like a relationship with him, and he was nice to us, but like, I don't care. I don't want to play those softball games anyway. The guy's a spineless jellyfish, and I can't stand him.
Yeah,
So-
I just thought it wasn't. At least you could fake it. He didn't fake it. It just wasn't heartfelt or real at all for me with him apologizing.
But this is exactly, if I were Rob Manfred, anybody in baseball, or one of the players like Scherzer, who was at the top of the Players Association and was looking at or just happened to see the Evan and McMonagle video, they would have been like, see, told you. Look, they're all going to come crawling back.
That video is embarrassing
all
for
these
multiple
suckers
reasons.
are going to come crawling right back to us. It just and we will. And I'm going to be just as guilty of it.
Well, how are you going to show your, like, are you going to?
I'm not going to a game
Okay.
this year. I will not pay unless somebody gives me tickets.
Right, which is a good possibility, but still, I'm with you.
I'm not paying for a game this year at all. I will guarantee you that.
Would you have done that normally? Maybe one or two for the year?
I'll tell you right now, if I wasn't doing this show, I would not watch a baseball game the entire summer.
I've been saying that. For what we do, it's very difficult to say that and admit it, but that's how I feel. The truth is, I needed baseball to come back for what we do, but because of, I don't
need it in my life.
I don't tolerate the disrespect and
Yes.
the way that they've mistreated us and made it. Look, it's supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be a fun thing. There's enough crap in the world going on. $5 a gallon for gas, whatever it is that you're dealing with, personal issues, dealing with the wife and the baby. There's a war going on. We're coming off the pandemic. I need baseball to be an escape to provide me happiness. If it's not bringing me joy, then what am I doing? And they drag us through the mud for months and aggravate me for no reason. The part of me says, screw you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we're in a spot where
we can't.
Well,
I can't. I mean, I can't sit here and not talk baseball. We're
we
going to
can't
talk
do
baseball.
it. No, we have to, and that's fine. But the point is, you're right. If it weren't for the shop, and a lot of my friends who are big baseball fans, they can say and they have said, screw baseball. I'm tired of this crap.
Yeah.
I'm envious of that. We can't do that.
I'm going to read you a text from a friend of mine last night, word for word, where he goes to me. He's a big St. John's basketball fan. So he texts me when St. John's is up by like 15 last night. And he says, my phone, I was streaming the warm-up show, and it's still I'm hearing myself.
Yeah,
What is that?
right.
So he texts me, St. John's is up, and he goes, if the Johnnies close this out, do you have any juice tomorrow? Because he knows I grew up a St. John's fan. I said, in what way? Personally or like on the show? And he goes, personally, obviously, baseball's nonsense takes center stage tomorrow. Was hoping they'd cancel the season. This is from a friend of mine who we grew up playing baseball. We built a baseball field in a sump together. We built a mound, benches. We loved baseball, played Little League, played high school baseball, went to games, talked about, we loved Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City so much because we thought it was cool as kids that they had a waterfall out there, that we planned a trip that we never took, that when we got our driver's license, we'd drive out to Kansas City to see a Royals game. This is how obsessed we were with baseball. And now here we are in our 40s. He's texting me, I hope they cancel the season. And I'm sitting here saying that if it weren't for this show, I wouldn't watch baseball again. Why is that?
Dude, that's insane you say that. Similar to me, without getting into specifics, childhood friend, grew up playing wiffle ball every single day, loved baseball. During the pandemic, after all the stuff that happened there, with them bickering about the games and, I guess maybe the political stuff, I was shocked to hear when I texted him when it's back, baseball's back. I'm done watching baseball. So there are people that have the ability to say, you know what, I'm done. Well, we can't do that, but if we could, maybe we would. And you and I were going to games, and we were living and dying with the 2006 Mets in the postseason. I love Major League Baseball, and I will once it gets going, and hopefully
we'll be into it. We'll be frauds, total frauds.
Right, of course, but we kind of have to. And you're right, there are better things to do at times than sit there and watch 4-hour crappy baseball games every single night.
I know. I mean, I don't know what type of show you would have done if it was just you and the overnight. You probably would have done like
I would have come on and been like, this is the greatest day ever.
Right, exactly.
We're back.
I know you would. I know you would have.
Like this, up and down, over and down. You got to keep it fresh each day.
No, listen, and I understand. I don't blame you. I mean, I might have done the same thing. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have, because I've been talking about it this way for a long time. I loved what you said in the warm-up show about boycotting opening day.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be
awesome.
It's
not that hard either. I know it'll never happen.
Those schmucks take the field, and there's nobody in there, and there's lining up at first and third base, and they look out there and wave, and there's nobody there.
The banners, or whatever you call them there.
The bunting.
Yeah, there you go.
All you got in the stadium is bunting and no fans because you idiots screwed it up. How great would that be? But no, you're just going to get
It'd be perfect. You or I would be in front of the line there, and you get a guy like Evan who comes right by us and goes to the game. I mean, that's a problem. Not to pick on him, but a lot of the fans are like that.
Yeah, a lot of them are, and a lot of them are the ones that are listening. And I don't want them to be able to just turn the page so quickly.
Well, what happens in 5 years when this thing is up again? You don't think there's going to be contentious talks again?
Same thing again.
And we're going to go through it again? I can't take it anymore.
Why make it a 20-year deal, for Christ's
They
sake?
canceled series twice.
I know.
And now they're playing 162.
162 games, because we need 162 baseball games. And by the way, Howie Rose was tweeting out how he thought that this new schedule, do you see now there's going to be fewer intra-division games, and there's now going to be more interleague games.
Every team will play each other at least once, I believe, which
So
I love myself.
You love that?
I do because I don't care if it's Yankees, Sox, Mets, Nats, Mets, Marlins, Yankees. I can't take 19 games of the same.
I'm fine with that, but why can't there be more games in the National League?
That's fine.
That's like the Mets and Royals shouldn't play each other as much as the Mets and Cubs play each other.
I would assume that let's say the Yankees play the Cubs once a year, Mets play whatever division for the most part once a year. I'm with you. The problem is now you might as well not even have an American League, and I think that's where we're going. There's not going to be an American League and a National League with the universal DH. With the interleague schedule always being a thing, and now even more of a thing, we're getting to a point where they're going to obliterate the two leagues eventually.
Let me tell you, these two teams better be good.
Yo,
the Yankees and Mets better be playing deep into October.
The Mets don't make the postseason. Can you imagine that?
Oh God. Well, I mean, same with the Yankees. I mean, I know that they didn't have as much of a splashy offseason, but same with them.
Yeah. But plus the Yankees if the Yankees didn't make it, you're right, it would be bad. But they're allowed a bad year.
Almost happened last year.
Last year, a bad year, they won 92 games.
Yeah.
But the Mets, after all their
God.
spending, if they don't make the playoffs,
they better at least get to the NLCS and be competitive in it.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah, you like the new playoff format? We can get into that, but you like that with the 12 teams?
Yeah, I think to me more teams the better
right.
because. My whole thing with baseball being a regional sport these days is the only way to grow the game and get more fans is have more teams involved in being able to win a championship.
Right.
I mean, and so, those markets that have some markets are just impossible to get fans, like Tampa Bay, Miami. They're never going to get fans. But there are other places that if those teams are good or if they have a shot at a postseason, the fans will show up. So I do think that is actually a way that you can grow the game. All right, we do have to take a break. It is Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network with Sal Licata in for Boomer this morning.